that was the best opportunity for me to grow as a player and also accomplish my goals individually and as a team.
Drew has grown first quarterback. How do the external expectations feel different this year compared to that?
I mean, you definitely hear more noise from that standpoint for me. Like, I mean, you kind of want to be in that position where all the expectations and maybe pressure are on you. But for me, it's all about I could care less if we're unranked in the media or whatever, ranked number 1, ranked number 5. Like, to me, it doesn't matter. The only thing I care about is being where we're ranked at the end of the season. I could care less about preseason rankings. It's all about where you're at the end of the season. So, it's definitely a blessing for us to be in the position we're at, but it doesn't matter if we don't go out and execute on every Saturday we have this fall.
Drew, you guys are...
Yeah, it means a lot to be a leader because I've been blessed and fortunate enough to be around a lot of great leaders. My freshman year, we had obviously Sean Clifford in the quarterback room, but you have guys like P.J. Mustipher, Jair Brown. There's countless other guys that I'm going to not mention just because there's so many of them, but they've had a ton of influences on me and my style of leadership. It's something I've tried to grow in every year because the vocal leadership probably didn't come as natural to me as maybe some others. Like, if you guys talk to Nick Dawkins, like, he can literally relate to any crowd here and fit into any room. So he's natural at that, and I've actually worked hard at that, and he's done a great deal for me just watching him and how his leadership has grown over my 4 years here and his time at Penn State as well. But yeah, it's definitely an honor for me to be here and represent the team, and I'm just doing my best to put ourselves in the best position to win games in the fall, no matter if I need to be the most vocal leader or I need to just lead by example.
How do you
Drew,
there's some chatter for the playoff last year that you might rethink your decision to come back. How real was that? Did you ever give it a second thought? And then go through the reasons why you ultimately decided that you want to come back for the season.
Yeah, with the timeline in general to make that decision, it was just a rapid timeline with obviously being in the Big Ten championship, and then after that game, having that really week and a half to try to make that decision because obviously we were preparing for SMU at that point in the playoffs. But for me, when I made that decision, it was I was pretty confident that I would come back. For me, it would have to be something pretty drastic to change that opinion. And I was upfront and honest with Coach Franklin, and he saw it the same way. But for me, I knew probably throughout the playoffs that there was a 90% chance I was coming back. And what went into that decision really was I just wanted to play more football. I felt like there's a lot. I've made strides every year in my development, but there's definitely areas I wanted to get better at and need to get better at. And I thought having another year in the weight room with the best strength staff in the country with Coach Losi and all his guys would only help me. And I think it's paid off huge for me this year. I'm the leanest I've been, probably the lightest I've been, and then also the fastest and strongest I've been since I've been at Penn State. So I think it helps me in the long run. And just, again, the experience of playing more football will never hurt me.
On that, where do you think you're going to be a better player on the field this season?
Yeah, the easy answer is to say everything, but I think for me, the consistency of just no matter if the drive's good or bad, interception, touchdown, just bouncing back from good or bad. That's something I've been focusing on since really spring ball. Because I know there's a golf stat out there, the top 10% golfers in the world, their bogey to birdie ratio is insane compared to the other golfers. When they have a bogey on the golf course, their ability to bounce back and either par or gain that stroke back with a birdie or whatever that case is. So just learning how I'm able, how I should be able to flush things, if things go good or bad, it's just something I've been working on. So I think that part of it will really help my game in general.
Drew, you guys are favored in Iowa City hugely, but Kinnick Stadium is a hostile environment. As a veteran signal caller, how are you preparing your mindset to go into a game where one misread or mistake can change the game?
Yeah, I think for me, every game is like that, no matter the opponent or where we're at. But I've heard nothing but great things. I've never been to Iowa, but I've heard nothing but great things. Obviously, with Trace McSorley on our staff, I've talked to him a little bit about it and just the memories he has there and that sort of thing. But they have a great program, obviously very consistent program. So when that opportunity comes, I'll definitely be looking forward to it. But for me, it's focusing on ourselves this fall camp and then Nevada week 1.
You spent 2 years going up against work with when you have a quarterback mentor like Brad. How does the dynamic work with the staff? I would have to imagine there might be places where the staff may not like that, but it seems with you guys, it's been kind of copacetic the whole way. How was that kind of work throughout?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Franklin has been great with that. I think the thing that's helped with that is Brad has done everything that Coach Franklin has asked, answer any questions that Coach Franklin has, either on me. Obviously, he trains Grunk in our room, or maybe any recruited quarterbacks he's training that maybe Penn State's looking at. So just being a resource for Penn State. And obviously, like you said, like there's probably not many places around the country that would maybe let an outsider come in and like work out their quarterbacks and that sort of thing. But Coach Franklin is always open. I mean, if you communicate with him or have anything you want to ask Coach Franklin or maybe do to help your game, he's willing to do anything. You just have to communicate with him, and he's been great for us. Obviously, Brad has been great for me in my time throughout high school and obviously throughout my career in college.
Drew, were there any throws last year that really stuck with you? You really kind of.
I mean, there's definitely a handful. I mean, to point out one, I would say probably my really all 3 of my touchdowns in the Fiesta Bowl game were throws that I knew when it came off my hand that they were going to be really good spots, and obviously the receivers that caught it did a great job of coming down with it. But I also think the opening touchdown of the year, West Virginia, because we were just kind of slow starting, but then that really kick-started that game for us.
You spent 2 years going up against Jim Knowles, defense out of Ohio State. Having him in the building now, have you at all had a chance to sit down with him and maybe take you through how he was able to game plan for you over the last 2 years?
Yeah, I've actually been able to sit down with him and a couple of guys that he brought over from Ohio State and really sit back and watch the game from last year and just really understand their philosophy behind like why they were calling certain things and maybe the tells that we had as an offense. So all those sorts of things. Like he was able to show me the scouting report that they had on me and other guys. So I thought it was really positive feedback from the standpoint like I knew there was areas I needed to work on, but those kind of reconfirmed it. So like just knowing that those areas that showed up on film, trying to make those into strengths for me this year, so those things don't happen. But I mean, I'm really excited to go against him and the defense this fall camp because I think it's going to be the best defense in the country, and I know our goal for offense is to be the best offense in the country. So to be able to go against them every day is going to be really fun. I mean, there's going to be some challenging days, but that's where it's going to pay off in the long run during the season. You said what?
The bogeys and birdies that you mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
Who taught you that?
So actually, Tom Rinaldi, like I did an interview with him, and he brought that stat up because I was talking about like just what I do, or like how I've kind of switched my mindset to that, like in a positive way of thinking. And he was the one that actually showed me that stat and brought that up to me. So Tom Rinaldi. So.
Are you a big golf guy?
Yeah, I try to golf as much as I can in the summer. In season, like I'm not golfing. Yeah. The whiteout. I mean, there's nothing like it. If you're a college sports fan in general, especially football, like the whiteout, no matter if you're a fan of Penn State or not, is something you need to go to, in my opinion. Like, I went to it as a recruit, sat in the stands. Like, it's crazy sitting in the stands, but it's even crazier being on the field for that. I'm thankful I don't really have to deal with that as a quarterback. Like, they're kind of quiet when I'm out on the field, unless something good happens for us. But like when I'm sitting down on the sidelines and I'm trying to go through the film with Danny, like it's hard to hear him next to me just because of how like loud the crowd will get, and you can feel the stadium shaking. Like it's really. We're really fortunate to have the fan base that we have with how passionate they are and how much they care about Penn State football. So our goal every weekend is to go out and represent them well and make them proud. I mean, I'm looking forward to it for sure. But for us, it's always about going 1-0. We never want to overlook any opponents. Like our focus is going to be on us when we get into fall camp. And obviously we have Nevada week 1, so we'll be preparing for Nevada.
The discrepancy for Penn State against top 10 teams and then teams ranked outside the top 10 is pretty staggering, especially under Coach Franklin.
Yeah.
You're going to have opportunities against top 10 teams this year. You're going to have to beat some to win a national championship. Is that any kind of motivating factor, rallying cry? Is that something you guys discuss in the building?
Yeah, I've talked about it a little bit with Coach Franklin and Coach K, and for us, we definitely need to get over that hump. There's no question about it. But we've also been one of the most consistent programs over his tenure, especially the last 11 years or whatever he's been the Penn State head coach. So our process has been working, but we definitely need to find different ways to, come out with different results in those games. And I think for us, at least me specifically, it's just about execution of us from a player standpoint. Like, there hasn't been, at least in my career, like we haven't really been blown out of the water by any team. So it's really just about finding those areas to make one or two more plays throughout those games, because those types of games, when you're going against those great opponents that have equal talent as you and also equal coaching staff and that sort of thing, it comes down to maybe just 4 or 5 plays throughout the game. So finding a way to maybe get into a better play or make one more throw that maybe I didn't make it's all the difference. So just finding different ways to, the little things that add up into big things over time is going to be our focus.
Coach Frank, the experience of this team can be a deciding factor, because you are one of the most experienced teams in the country, and if it comes down to it.
Yeah, I think the experience definitely helps because we know what those situations feel like. We know what it is like to be on both ends of it, the winning side and the losing side. So, just channeling that and just flushing in the moment and staying in that present moment when those opportunities do come, I think is going to be the biggest thing for us.
Coach Franklin mentioned on the stage about how, starting up as a 3-star recruit and then becoming the #1 quarterback prospect. What do you recall about that process and that development, and how do you maybe mirror that throughout your college career and recruiting?
Yeah, for sure. I think for me as a quarterback, every year I've played, I've gotten better and more consistent. So it's about sticking to that process. And for me, it's always about just putting my head down and just working, no matter if people see it, don't see it. Like, I'm always in the facility trying to find a little edge, whether it's keeping my body right with maintenance and that sort of thing, or if it's watching more film. So I think my process has been really good throughout the years, and that's what's allowed me to get better each year. But, for me, as far as like all the rankings and stuff, like I never really thought too much of it when I was in high school, because to me, like, whenever you step in whatever program you decide to go in, you're not given anything, you're not entitled to anything because of the amount of stars that were attached to your name coming out of high school. And even so, like, with me being a third-year starter, like, I'm not like guaranteed to do anything. Like, I have to go in and earn it each day. And we as a team, like, we always talk about, like, again, with the outside expectations, like, we can be crowned whatever people want to crown us, but we have to go out and earn those expectations and that sort of thing, and really just put our head down and keep working, no matter if it's a good situation we're in or a bad situation.
What was it like for you 2 years ago to come home, to lay out Ohio State, your home state school, in that environment, the horseshoe, and the way that game was? Is that at all motivation for getting another chance to play there this year?
I think, obviously being able to go back home to Ohio and play my home state is definitely a blessing, because I was able to obviously have more family members there, more friends there. And obviously they have a great environment, great program, great team, great players and great coaches. So when that opportunity comes, I'll be looking forward to it, just for the opportunity to go back home and play them, because obviously they're a great team, and obviously they accomplished what every team in America wants to accomplish last year. So, when that opportunity comes, I'll be excited for it. But for me, it's always about going 1-0, never overlooking the opponents, because again, like we played Nevada week 1. So when we get through that part of training camp where we're shifting our focus to the season, I'll put all my focus on Nevada.
Ohio, as a starting quarterback, I'm sure you've had to deal with your share of trolls and stuff online. How often do you hear from people who say directly, like, you cost me money? Because they're betting on your stats.
No, a lot. Actually, a lot. It's probably more, like, honestly, like, that was the one thing that has always caught me off guard. Like, I didn't expect that part as a starting quarterback in college. Because I'll go back home and people will be like, oh yeah, I got like 1,000 on you and win a Heisman. I'm like, okay, like, why do I need to know that? Like, I don't necessarily need to know that. But that side of things can kind of bring out some ugly interactions. I've definitely had some things that, I'm like questioning, like, I don't know how, like, people can do that to you. Like, I've had people request money from me and all that sort of stuff, phone number leaks. So, and it's not just me. Like, it'll affect, like, my family, my girlfriend, all my friends. Like they'll go after them, which is kind of the weird part. Like, it doesn't necessarily make it to me, but they'll kind of go after people that are around me. So that it's definitely weird having those interactions, but I try to handle it as best as I can and as gracefully as I can.
You've had Drew request money because they lost a bet.
Yeah, just they'll find my Venmo or something.
Do you feel any more pressure knowing that there's people out there actually wagering? It's not just like the happiness of whether you win the game. It's like they're putting actual money on your performance.
I mean, not to be cruel, I don't care. I mean, that's their choice to make those decisions, whether they put money on us or not. So, I mean, it's kind of on them. It's weird to kind of say that, but like, it's definitely just weird with those sorts of things, just because sometimes there's like no good way to handle it, and it becomes really awkward. So again, just trying to handle those things as gracefully as I can, and really just trying to limit all those distractions as I can. Like, I'll be off social media during the season, so trying to at least limit the amount of distractions that I can have throughout a year.
You mentioned Ohio State, new quarterback, Michigan, new quarterback, Oregon, new quarterback, 3-year starter. Do you guys sense the opportunity that you have going into the Big Ten this season?
I mean, I think for us, our goal is always to be in the Big Ten title and obviously win it. Obviously, we came close to that last year, didn't accomplish it. And for us, I think it's always about reflecting internally on what we can do well and what we need to do better at. So, again, going into fall camp, it's going to be all about us and finding what we're good at, what our weaknesses are, and attacking those things to make them into strengths, so we can be the most well-rounded team in the country and also be the most diverse team in the country in terms of personnel we can throw out on the field, the different types of players we have out on the field at any given time, and just trying to become the most well-rounded team as we possibly can throughout the 4 weeks of camp or whatever it is.
The way that the Notre Dame game ended and the pick in the field,
Yeah.
Any extra feel for you in the offseason? Did you go back and watch that play? How has that play affected you?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely watched that play like a handful of times. I don't know the number, but for me, again, like the mistakes that I made in that game, the thing that was frustrating but also good at the same time was like all the mistakes that I did make were very correctable and easily correctable. It's just about being intentional with those things, and for me, like just being conscious of those things. Maybe I didn't know throughout the season that I was doing some certain stuff, so now when I was in the off season, like hammering those things down, so when those moments in games do come, like the bad habits or stuff like that don't show up in the most critical moment where it does cost us in that sort of way.
Ohio State.
You were having the conversations with people close to you, trying to figure out whether you wanted to stay or
Yeah.
go. Did you want feedback from the NFL, or did you get any, or was that not really part of your decision making?
No, that was definitely part of the decision making for me, and Coach Franklin did a phenomenal job for me, and all the resources at Penn State of gathering the information for me, and all my agents as well. They did a great job of giving me as much information they could in that short time span, and allowing me to make the most informed decision for myself on what I thought was best for me. So, I mean, I definitely wanted that feedback, just because when I think you're going into that decision, at least for me, like I want to be as informed as possible, no matter if it's like good or bad. Like I want to know where I stand in that sort of sense. So that was definitely a big help for me. And I think for me, it came down to like, I know how much better I want to be as a player and leave my mark on Penn State and obviously accomplish the things that we came close to last year but came up short in. So having another go at that and just playing more football.
Did they think you would have been a first-round pick? Is that the feedback you got?
I mean, I don't know how true all that stuff was. It's just kind of like none of that stuff was really reported to me. From what I understand, like it was kind of like a wide range. I had a pretty wide range of like being a top end guy or like maybe being like a mid round guy. So for me, again, it was kind of like too scattered, I guess, to kind of pull that trigger. And again, like I have a lot of things I want to accomplish here as a team and individually that I felt like I wanted one more go at.
Drew, 3 really tough losses last year.
Yeah.
All of them that were really close.
Yeah.
Really close, maybe a mistake or two here or there. Talked about the Notre Dame game, but the Oregon and Ohio State game. What were one or two things that you took from those games that you're going to use moving forward?
Yeah, I think the Oregon game specifically, I played well in for the most part, but there was 2 costly mistakes. Obviously, the first interception, we were down, 21-10 at that point. I threw an interception, which was basically a pick six, since they got out on the one. It was one play, like halfback dive or whatever. So now we're down 28-10, but the thing I took from that game is the way we battled back. Like we came back and rattled off 2 scores. But again, like if I don't have those 2 costly interceptions, maybe it's a different outcome for us. And because we were having a pretty good game offensively from that standpoint, I was playing pretty well. Besides maybe 5 or 6 plays, and then the Ohio State game again, it's like just 1 or 2 different plays. Obviously, they had a great goal line stand. They made a lot of plays when they needed to make plays. So credit to them. They have, again, like a really good ball club, really good coaching staff. So they're going to make plays, but it's about just finding one or two more plays to make throughout that game that can maybe change that outcome. So again, like all these games that we're talking about come down to like a handful of plays. Obviously, they're going to be really tight games just because of the talent on both sides of the field. So again, those are the opportunities that I wanted to come to Penn State to play in those types of games, and looking forward to just again kind of just having one more go at it for my senior year.
Last year, Ohio State had a lot of guys who made the same decision you did to come back for their senior year, try to chase a championship. Do you guys, you and your teammates who made the decision to come back, do you guys draw inspiration from that?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but I think for us, like, again, it kind of relates back to my message earlier. Like for us, like I know for me, I wanted to accomplish a lot more as a team and individually. I could say the same for all the guys that made that decision to come back. So I think for us, it was about reflecting on each person's journey, because obviously everybody had a different decision to make. Everybody's decision wasn't like mine or that sort of thing. So making those decisions, and then when we stepped back foot and last for our first lift of the winter, like just realizing, all right, now it's like we're here. Like we didn't just come back to come back. We came back for a reason, and we need to push everybody around us to be the best they possibly can. And I think we've done a really good job of that. We have a lot of great leaders on both sides of the ball, a lot of experience. So I'm really looking forward to just, again, playing football and competing against us when fall camp comes around.
How do you think that experience makes you guys a better team going into this year?
I mean, just like you said, it's experience. The more you're in those moments, the more you know what it feels like on both outcomes, good and bad. So just knowing, like when those moments do come, like, all right, like now resetting your mind to focus on the present, not thinking about the outcome or anything, like just focusing on the process of everything to hopefully come out with different outcomes in those opportunities.